Hi, what's up, everybody? You're watching On the Town. It's your host, Tanya Cooper, again. Thank you so much for joining us again. This week, we have a special guest. You can hear her talking funny on Sirius XM Progress, channel 127 at 11:15 p.m. Eastern. Every Monday, you can find her on John Fugelsang's Tell Me Everything. She also writes and acts funny on Polity Podcast on SoundCloud. Please welcome the lovely Rhonda Handsome. Hey, how are you, lovely?
I am delighted to be with you. It's been a while. Usually I see you when we're doing fundraising for your fabulous foster kids charity. And I'm wonderful. I'm so glad to see you. You're looking beautiful as ever.
You too, girl. You are doing it. Somebody's doing the gym or doing the home workout or something. You look absolutely fabulous. So what has been going on? Are you excited that the clubs are opening back up?
Well, I really am. Not that I don't like being on shows like this on online and Zoom. I like those, but I miss the ability to have that instant kind of feedback from the crowd and to be able to work on the jokes, like maybe do one or two sets or in a night or one or two sets, do a set every night to hone things. What I have found is that I really miss that camaraderie, having somebody say, "Oh, I got a tag for you on that joke." So yes, I'm excited that the clubs are opening, and I hope some of the people who booked them will be calling me. And they have not forgotten about me during this pandemonic.
I saw you on something. What was it? Oh man, I saw you something. It was recent too. Not recent. You were on stage. You were on a stage. Oh, I forgot to write the name of it down, but it was hilarious. You had me dying on the floor.
Thank you. I recently did the Age March, which promotes positivity around every age. And, I was very happy to say that I was aging magnificently. And I feel so good about that. Speaking of the stage, I'm working on a presentation for theater for the new city. Crystal Fields, I have known her for a very long time. I've actually been on several of her stages all over New York City. She's moved around a lot, but she's going to have an online presentation. She has an online presentation of plays. And I'm directing a double bill written by Andrea Fulton, and it's got some great actors. And I hope people will be looking for that on Facebook and at Theater for the New City website. April 22nd, that'll be happening. Because I direct as well because I just love telling people what to do.
Now, what did you do? What did you do during the quarantine? Did you get ready for when we open up? Did you do anything special?
Well, yeah, I have been trying to write. I have been trying to write. When it first happened, it was kind of surreal, and I would just spend a lot of time sitting in my window looking out, like I was like a cat just sitting there for hours looking out. And then I realized that this thing is here for real. It's here for real.
Yeah.
And so I have been working on cartoons with a friend of mine that I know from theater, actually, the Art of Scott Williams. He's on Facebook and Instagram, but we do cartoons together. I'm the writer and he's the fantastic illustrator. In fact, I'll show you one of our pieces. One of our pieces is
wow.
Happy New Year, and you can see that Father Time is kicking Baby New Year into 2021.
That
baby New Year, no, it's not going to be a good ride. It's not going to be a good ride.
That's hilarious.
But
so I write. You write those stories?
I write the story, I write the idea or the caption, and he is just a fantastic illustrator. We also take commissions. And I want your people. I know you have lots of good people because I've seen them in your audience and they've been very nice to me. I want your people to go to Politunatics on Facebook.
Spell it for me. P-O-L.
Sure. Politunitics. Politunatics. If you look for Politunatics on Facebook, you can like us and you can share your favorite cartoon. They are political cartoon antics. That's how we put the name together. Politunatics is a great collection of cartoons, but we also do commissions, and I want people to go to our page on Facebook and like us and share the cartoons as well.
Okay, so awesome. I put it up there, and that's awesome. And you've been doing how long now?
Oh my God, I've been doing comedy from the previous century. And you know what's really funny? People kept asking me, why don't I do a podcast? Why don't I do a podcast? And I ended up working with a great gang of people on Politipod. Politipod is a great podcast that I can lend all of my experience as a comedian to, as a writer and as an actor, as a voice actor. And I really, really enjoy that. And you can find us on Facebook as well. That's
Facebook.
Politipod podcast, and the gang is really great, and we also get together once a week and write, and that's what I'm really excited about, because as I mentioned before, it was very important for me to figure out what was happening with my writing, because the pandemic really messed with my flow, my whole way of being, all of my habits around, performing and being creative, got out of whack. But I feel now that all of my experiences as a comic are coming together. And, I've been doing it for quite some time. As I said, I started in the last century.
Well, all I remember is
still here.
And still standing. All I remember is when you were on Arsenio Hall. You were hilarious, and you're still hilarious. So,
thank you.
I should have wrote down what I saw you on. And it said it was 2020, so it may have been last year, may have been. But you were on a theater stage, and it was.
I know what that is. That is when. Oh my gosh! And I've got to say, I know it was really great. It was Tribeca Performing Arts Center. I had my own show there, and I love the people at Tribeca Performing Arts Center for welcoming me and my friends. It was Rhonda Handsome and friends, and it was just fantastic. Dara Jamat, Robin Montague, Nancy Lombardo, and Shelley Coleman. I mean, and myself. We had a great time. We had a great audience, and it was just before the lockdown. It was the first week of March. It was actually the first week of March.
Because I was looking at the date, and I was like, oh, but I was like, they were cracking up. It was the audience was full, and I said, when was this? I said, it must have been right around that time. So.
And you're right. We had a very nice audience, and a lot of people didn't even show up because they were just starting to talk about being careful around being careful around COVID. And I was so pleased that whoever showed up, and we had a really great audience, very responsive. And for a lot of the women on the bill, that was the last show that they did before going into lockdown.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a good way to go out if you have to wait a year. That was a very good show, and your comedy was hilarious.
But I love big stages. I love big stages, and I worked on big stages with all the musical acts that I have opened for, like Anita Baker and Diana Ross and the Temptations and Aretha Franklin and James Brown and Smokey Robinson. I love being on those big stages and being able to be physical and move around and make faces and move my body around and get all of those laughs coming at me. But I also like the clubs. I like the clubs, the intimacy of the clubs.
Yeah, it's very intimate. I was going to ask you about that too. When you think of a joke, right? What makes something funny? Is it the delivery? Is it the actual joke? Is it the body language with the joke? Is it all a combination of all of these? Because I like old school comedy with Jerry Lewis, James Dean, Jimmy Martin. I'm saying the wrong people. Hello, the old Brat Pack, I'll say, and then like Carol Burnett. So I like a little bit of slapstick comedy, but some people like just straight jokes. So I was wondering, when I see you, I see the animation and I love it because you give everything, like from head to toe. It's all around us.
Thank you. I like slapstick on the screen. I really do. And some people don't like it, but I kind of get a kick out of watching people who can do it well, who have that perfect timing, who can do it with grace or so beautifully. But Tanya, it's a combination of all those things coming together. And one of my comedy idols, I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to work with him, is Cat Williams.
Oh, I love him.
Who is very political, but deceptively so. Cat Williams is political, but deceptively so. He'll be so down to earth and so down to the nitty gritty. You don't realize the political points that he's making, but he's also very physical, and very animated. I like that. And you know who I've been watching lately? I've been watching Godfrey lately.
Oh, he's very clever.
Yeah. Oh, and he ain't bad to look at. But he's the same. He's the same with the voices and with the animation and with some of the political content. That's what else I've been doing while I have been in lockdown, is looking at other comedians. Like lately, I've been watching Yamanika, who is so damn hilarious. Yeah. I can't whenever I can catch her, I do. And of course Onika. Onika put out so much content. I don't even know when she have time to sleep. Every time I turn around, she got something else out. So that's when I'm not working myself on directing a project or writing or writing my own material. I like to see what other people are doing and to find out what's going on. But some of what's been going on, frankly, I got to tell you, Tanya, I feel like I know too much about other folks' sex life.
I do too. I feel like I don't TMI. TMI.
Yeah. Now we talking about Jada and her daughter that they like women, and Derek.
What?
Yeah.
They said that?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And Derek Jackson
came out the closet.
Well, I didn't want to say. I'm looking. I know what it looked like to me, but it ain't none of my business. But then there's Derek Jackson. I know too much information. Why should I know how long Derek Jackson can last? I mean, that is just really.
That's so funny. I was telling someone that we were just talking about that the day before, me and another comedian, about like all the the jokes about the private parts and stuff. And I was like, I'm so sick of them. But I found a way to stop men from those jokes. I found a good way. When I go to Mike's and they start talking about all the porn and all the stuff that I don't want to hear about, I started talking about when I was 13, the first time I had my period. And they're like, ugh. So the whole room shuts down. Like, oh, let's talk about when I was 13 years old. old. They're like, oh, no, thanks.
Well,
So,
and I think that's really poor development on their part, and poor nurturing from our society, because it's like that whole area is separate from everything else about us, and not like a natural part of our being. So instead it's treated as something that's filthy or that should not be discussed. And that's another part of what makes the problems between us, and also are not understanding each other, because that is a physical and spiritual and part of important part of our lives that is left out of conversation. And frankly, I feel like we should talk about intimacy. I'm not saying sex. I'm talking about intimacy and relationships from the time children can understand words. We need to start helping them cope with their own intimacy, with their own development, with relating to people, knowing, what's good touch, what's, how to protect yourself. I think we really need more openness around it, because I grew up knowing nothing, and being in the Catholic Church it just helped me know less and less about myself. And and I'm a proponent of helping young people know who they are, so that they can deal with themselves authentically and deal with other people in a healthy way.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm all about anybody as far as like Jada and them. I just think that anybody who's whatever they are, as long as you're come clean and used to clean with yourself.
Is that your dog?
No, I don't know what that was. You heard that too?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Maybe I was fidgeting. I don't know. Sorry, guys. It happens. It's a Zoom. Yeah, I think as long as you're honest with yourself, I don't care either way. Just as a comedian, for me, to walk in a room with 30 males and all they talk about is their bottom is annoying. So that's all. It's not what they're talking about. It's how they're talking about it. And it's
really funny that when I first started in the 80s, I started in the 80s in comedy. The first comedy club I went to in Montreal, all the men talked about was Star Trek. And I said, well, I may not be a big Star Trek fan, but I can get up there and talk and be as funny as they are. But then somehow it evolved. Fewer talked about Star Trek and more talked about their penises and masturbating.
Yep.
But they don't want women to discuss that. They don't want to hear women talk about that. And in fact, I opened for a comic who at the time was big. He used to be on Saturday Night Live. I'm not gonna say his name, but I think I was in Tahoe, and I get in, and when you fly from the East Coast, it's a long flight. You want to take a nap before you're gonna go on stage. And he called me and said, "You're not going to talk about that female stuff, are you?"
Ooh, no.
Yes, honey. And now I'm there by myself. My manager wasn't there. By the way, I am looking for management. My former manager actually used to manage Freddie Prinze, Freddie Roman, Sal Richards, Sal Richards, Freddie Roman, Dick Capri. These were all people who were in the Catskills where I also worked with them. But I don't have that management anymore. Dave Jonas has been gone for a while. He's been gone for a while. But when I was in Tahoe and this comic says, "You're not going to talk about that female stuff," I'm calling my manager. I'm calling my agent. Oh, by the way, I can use an agent too. And I'm going, what am I going to talk about? Because my act was around my baby. I was a new mom. I was a new mom, and I talked about all of that, which was not just, it was life changing. It was traumatic, and it was a large part of my act. And I mean, I did not need that after a 4 or 5 hour flight. Getting into the hotel, and instead of relaxing before, I'm doing all of this, putting out, trying to put out fires. So I hope men are getting more comfortable with our biology, because Lord knows we've had to hear about their biology all this time.
Forever. Well, that's what I was going to ask you too. Have you? There's an echo, and I don't know why, so I apologize, guys. I have no idea if there's something else on. I don't have anything else on. Not sure why. But I felt like there was a lot of not just discrimination in little small ways. So women in general, getting in comedy and being in comedy in high places, being headliners is a little. Now after the pandemic, it might change, but before that, it was a little, I don't know. Only certain places have certain people that they put on all the time. But to see Black headliners, I wasn't seeing it as much as I'd like to, aside from the Dev Comedy Jam circuit. And I don't know, I just wanted to see what your thoughts was of that. Women in comedy and minorities in comedy before this pandemic. Hopefully it'll change.
Well, I'm not quite sure of the question, but I got to tell you something. I really like it when Black producers, Black comedy producers, and podcast producers reach out to me, which is why when you reached out to me, I said yes. I did Back to the Essence with Kenny Williams and Marlon Randall. I mean, when I love that, and I don't know why. I would love to do more with Black producers. I think Joanna Briley, is really great, and Lois Thompson. I mean, these are people who call on me and ask me to work with them. But there are a lot of men who've been around for quite some time, and I feel like either they don't know me or I'm not their style of comedian. But I would really like to work Black rooms more, and hopefully when the quarantine lifts, if the clubs follow through with safe and healthy protocols, I would love to be there and work out my material and entertain every kind of audience. I feel good with every kind of audience. As I said, I've worked the Catskills, I've worked Tahoe, Vegas, and Radio City Music Hall and Fox Theater. I've worked big places, small places, and I've worked outdoors. I've done amphitheaters across the country, and I want to work with those people who are good producers, who appreciate talent, who pay, and who know how to put on a good show. And you have all those things together. I'm there for you. I'm there for you.
That's right. Rhonda's there for you. What do you think of this statement? And I can't believe the time's gone so quick. It's 8:23 after already. What do you think of this statement? I know. I can't believe it. What do you think of this when I hear the statement, women are not funny? Do you think that's changed? Or do you think people are starting?
When I hear someone say that, I think that funny women are beautiful. That's one of the hashtags that I really love to use. I think when people say that women aren't funny, I think they're saying more about their own sense of humor. And one of the things I had to come to grips with and understand is that humor is so subjective.
It is.
It is really a subjective thing. And that's why there's room for so many of us. So it doesn't bother me when someone says women are funny, because I know. I know my ass is funny. I do.
My favorite joke of yours, which is crazy that I still remember this, is when they asked with your mom and your dad, Rhonda, took 9 months. I'm jacking the joke up, but that's my absolute all-time favorite joke. The audience was hysterical when you did that one.
You always had good audiences, girl. Always.
I'm so blessed. You guys, I don't know how we do it. Don't even ask. But that the ones that you, especially the shows you on, and we were live. Oh my God, they were so much fun. So thank you for helping us out. You're the best. Do you remember the first time that you started comedy. What is it that made you want to make people laugh?
Well, I always felt like I was funny, but being in Catholic school, I was very constricted, and there was a very authoritarian kind of situation, and
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't so much that I thought I was funny. That the fact that I was funny wasn't driving me to
Mm-hmm.
go into it. I wanted to get a higher profile as an actress. That's really, I just wanted somebody to hire me as an actress. And I said, oh, well, I don't have to wait for somebody to hire me. I can get up and do my act and they'll see me, make me a movie star, put me on TV.
So that was your motivator. I was like, they're
That
going
was
to help
my
me.
motivator. That was my
Wow.
motivator.
That's right. You do acting too. I forgot. That's right. So I have you. What's going on with that now? Is that starting to open back up?
Yeah. In fact, I may be actually shooting something with John Fugelsang in a couple of weeks. I'm kind of excited about that. I do John Fugelsang show every Monday night on Sirius XM Progress Channel 127. The name of the show is Tell Me Everything. And he is a very funny guy, great mind. He knows a lot about music, but he has a wonderful political sense. And so we were talking today, and it looks like we'll be shooting some stuff in a couple of weeks.
Nice. Very nice.
But you know what? As much as I love acting, I love directing. I directed a short film by Rowetta Lee Smith that stars two of my favorite comedians, Jamie Roberts and Nikki Sunshine.
Rowetta Lee Smith?
Rowetta Lee Smith wrote it, and she stars in it, but it's a three-person short film, very funny, if I do say so myself.
Where can we find it?
And Jamie Roberts and Nikki Sunshine play a couple who are in therapy. And the name of the short film is Let's Keep It Professional. So I want your audience to look for that. COVID came in and really screwed around with a lot of things getting out to people. So I think now if things open up, you should be able to see it on the festival circuit and also on the comedy and film festival circuits. It's called Let's Keep It Professional, but it stars very funny people. Very funny people.
I'm typing it in the chat now so people can, in case I forget, it's there.
Yes.
So that's awesome. You're really out here doing the thing. I during the pandemic, I did a lot of writing myself. And so I'm hoping I got like 10 screenplays I'm working on. And I got one done. One's finished. So I'm working on other ones. One at a time. So
well, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got into writing because, and I was going to ask you about this too. I wanted to be the change in the industry that I want to see. I'm sick of seeing, screenplays and films and TV shows. And I'm like, where are we? Or I couldn't wear my afro. I could, but you wouldn't get the job. So I love seeing your natural hair. That's fabulous, because I said, I got to start writing so that will not be a thing. If I write something good.
I'm available to play your mom or your auntie. Yes. Or your wacky next door neighbor. I am available.
I am not far behind you, girl. I'm just saying. I'm just being kind with the DNA, but I ain't far behind. I will not lie.
I know you were talking about these sitcoms. I'm actually in the process of working on one with two other comics, Nancy Levine and Robin Lake, and I'm looking forward to that coming along. We have the pilot written, and we're going to see what happens with that in the summer. We'll be trying to move along with it in the summer.
Fabulous. I totally see you in a sitcom, so I'm excited. And you let me know when anything that you're doing comes out, because I'll be more than happy to tell about it. So my last question.
Send you a little note on a birdie.
Send me that little note on the birdie. So my last question for you is, how do you find your power as a woman in this comedy world that's not very, well, to me, was not very woman friendly? When you think of all the top comics right now in the world, like the top, there's only a few women, in my opinion. And there's so many, I think there's so many brilliant comedian women that we're not even hearing about. So how do you find your power?
Well, to be honest, I'm just starting a new spiritual practice, and because I left the Catholic Church because it was so damaging to me, and
Okay.
and leaving that was harsh because it stopped my natural flow of spiritual practice, and so I'm trying to work on that now with a new with a new mastermind, and which includes meditation,
Okay.
and self-reflection.
Nice.
But the main thing is just being secure in my skin and who I am, because wherever I walk in or wherever I am, as long as I feel comfortable about that, no one can make me feel bad about a joke not landing, or how fat or how thin I am, how fat I am, or how my hair is, or the gap in my teeth, or none of those things are going to bother me because I'm fabulous.
Exactly, girl. Well, that's to end it on before I say hello to our audience. You guys are listening to the lovely Rhonda Handsome. You can check her out in the chat somewhere. I put where you can find her. And Rhonda, you can say it one more time, and then we'll just say hi to our audience before we leave.
Absolutely. They can follow me on Facebook at Rhonda Handsome Comedy. That's where I list all the shows that I'm doing. And on Twitter at Rhonda Handsome. That's like a handsome man without the D. I have a lot of political stuff going on Twitter, and and on Instagram I like to put some videos up there and some cartoons and stuff. I'm Rhonda Full on Instagram, and look at my cartoons, Politunatics on Facebook, and listen to me and my writing. I write with the Politipod gang, Politipod podcast. I write with them and act with Politipod.
You guys heard it from Miss Rhonda Handsome herself. I'm just going to say hello to you guys out there. Hi to my sister. I see you out there, T. Tony Viagra, I see you. I see you. All right. I see somebody else. Anna. Hey, Anna, what's up? And Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Betty. Hi. These are some of the people that were at the show, actually. Tony, I got you. Betty. Hey, Betty, what's up? And Elizabeth, I got you already. Did I? I got you. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. I see Anthony. Emma. Hey, there you go, Emma. Hey, I'm glad to see you back, Emma. You know I miss you when you ain't out here. Carol, what's up? How are you? And Anna, thank you. You guys are awesome for checking us out. Yes, Rhonda is awesome. She is fabulous. You heard her. She's my idol. She's making me want to go back to my afro, okay? Because it looks fabulous on her. I liked those pictures, right? Didn't I like your pictures with the fro? Yes. Well, some women get bored. I get really bored. My mother was a hairdresser too. So I get really bored in 5 minutes with a hairdo. I don't care what it is. It could be braids. It could be afro. It doesn't matter. So that's what happens. I really got bored. So I'll be back. I'll be back to Afro World. I'll be back. Oh, yes. Hey, Michelle, how are you? So thank you so much, guys, for checking us out again this week. You guys are awesome. And Rhonda, don't go anywhere. Guys, I'll see you again. Today's Thursday. I'll see you again Saturday with 5 Black comics. My friend Carl Yard created this great show where comedians give you their true opinion about things that are happening in the African-American community, and we try to solve our own problems, and then we try to laugh about it if we can. Sometimes we can't, like George Floyd this weekend. We're not going to be laughing too much. But please check it out, because we need to have dialogue, whether it's hurts or not. We got to have dialogue. So every Saturday, 5 p.m., you can find me co-hosting on 5 Black Comics with Kevin Lee, Desmond Walker, Carl Yard, and Preach TV. So check us out, and thank you for watching.